welcome to Wrestling with Keish. I'm Keish. So I want to talk about the ruler, the one, the only, Oba Femi. As we know, unfortunately, at NXT No Mercy, Oba dropped the title, which I was not crazy about, honestly. I feel like if anything, Oba should have dropped it to Javon Evans when they had their last match. I feel like it would have just been a better fit, honestly. Because I wasn't really crazy about how Oba lost. That's a big thing for me too. Because, Oba was champion for so long and he really, I would say, endured some things where I thought he would like lose at times and he kept going. So it wasn't, and I know wrestling's like very kayfabe and everything, but I think for me it wasn't believable that Oba Femi would lose the way he lost to Ricky. I felt like I would have preferred if Oba is like slammed through some tables, or he's thrown in some barricades, like something to like get me like, okay, I could see that. But I think just the DDTs, and then it's just like, I was like, get out of here. But nonetheless, Ricky Saints is now NXT champion. So now the big question of the hour: what is next for Mr. Oba? So Oba wasn't on NXT on Tuesday, and things like this are always tricky because I'm assuming we're getting a situation how when Stephanie Vaquer fought JC Jane, and like JC became champion, everybody was just like, oh my gosh, and then Stephanie went to the main roster. I think that's what's about to happen with Oba. Now the question is, which brand would he be on? And one of my biggest fears, if I'm being honest, and I'm not trying to say I don't have faith in Triple H or creative, but like completely. But, I have noticed there are times we do get people that get called up from NXT, or just people coming from other companies, and they get to the main roster, and I think it's very easy for people to get lost in the shuffle of things. And not saying it's the talent's fault at all, but I think there's so many people that they don't utilize everyone correctly how they could, or they don't showcase people in the manner that they could. And I would hate for Oba to be one of those people to have that happen. Oba is so dominant. He just has this like, type of situation. And I feel like with Oba going to the main roster, which I'm assuming is likely to happen, on Friday Night SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, I would hate for him to just get a really hard push and then he's just kind of chilling and we don't really see much of him. Or, maybe he comes in and he loses something. And I think Oba is so dominant that I feel like you need him to come in and win. You need to build him up really strong because, we saw him really strong in NXT. And I think the way he lost, that kind of concerned me too. And I'm not, trying to disrespect Ricky or DDTs or anything, but I feel like it made him look a bit weaker to me. And I think him coming up to the main roster, and if he's losing a match, I don't think that's a good way to do something with him. If I'm being honest, I would love to see Oba fight certain people, for sure. I think I wouldn't mind seeing Oba and Brock. I wouldn't mind seeing Oba and Gunther. Oba and Ilya Dragunov, whenever he comes back, that's a whole nother video. I miss him bad. Ilya and Drew McIntyre, Ilya and Jacob Fatu. Who's another big man? Ilya and Rusev, another big man. Sounds crazy. But, those certain people of that stature, big meaty men slapping meat, it would just be great. And although I'm excited for Oba, I'm also nervous because it's one of those things where it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. How's it going to play out? And I've seen some people kind of make videos and say it's possible, Sami Zayn does the United States Open Challenge, and it's very possible Oba Femi could come out on Friday Night SmackDown and be one of the challengers for that. And if I'm being so honest, I would hate that. Because I personally don't think Sami Zayn is about to drop that belt. When watching SmackDown, you sometimes see Shinsuke in the background just like there, moving around and things. And the way it looks to me is if we're setting up for Shinsuke and Sami. So with that being said, I don't see Sami dropping that belt just yet. I just don't. I think he's going to have that belt and do the open challenge for a bit to kind of have other people have something to do as well in the challenge and showcase different talents. So with that being said, I would hate if Oba came up and he fought Sami. And obviously the way I'm thinking, he would lose to Sami. And I think that would really like bother me because it's like, again, how I said, you're kind of diminishing him in a way because Oba's such a big guy and he was so dominant. And that's why it's hard when you see people in NXT, and I always bring this person up in particular, Karrion Kross is a great one. You see certain people in NXT dominate or be these people, certain things they do and tendencies, and it's just like, oh, that's blah blah blah. Like they're really about it, and then you see them kind of move up, and it's like things don't pan out the way they did off of NXT or another company, and you're just like, what's going on? And I want to be optimistic. I really do. I don't want to sit here like I'm bashing creative or WWE period, but it's like this would really hurt me if it got fumbled, because if you can't tell by now, Oba Femi is one of my favorite wrestlers, and I think I've noticed sometimes people don't make it out, of NXT transitioning to the main roster how you would think they do. And I would hate if he was one of those people to get fumbled, because, we watched him have this really dominant title run. And just look at the guy. Like, that's a big man. It's a big man. So I'm praying and hoping that it is done correctly. I'm excited for him because I'm excited for the big meaty men mashups we're gonna see, the wrestling we're about to see, the throwdowns. I'm excited for that. But I pray to God above that we just really get consistent booking with him and believable storylines and things that just make sense, because that's my guy. That's my guy. But yeah. What do you think that happened with Oba? Who would you like to see Oba fight? Let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching. Bye.